Yeah, I'm an idiot. So anyway, trigger warning. I'm going to put a picture up of what I did to my hand. Trigger warning, it's not nice. So if you're a bit squeamish, just zip past this part if you like. So I'm a bit wobbly today. I'm a bit, like that. So I'll just be doing little bits and pieces, what I can manage with one hand. Anyway, I'll put the picture up now. So what I did was I was out clipping those hedges, not clipping them, I was cutting them drastically. The width of them, the width and all of it really. And they're massive. And, I was talking in a recent video, I was talking about what I wanted the new bed to look like, with the big shrubs at the back, the very tall shrubs, and then smaller shrubs in front, and then all cottage garden stuff and ferns and hollyhocks and different cottage garden plants in the foreground. So that's what I was doing, and I was so conscious of I got in between all the smaller shrubs, and there was a lovely Japanese acer, and I was so conscious of stepping on it or breaking a branch off it or whatever. And I had the hedge trimmer, the small. I've got a big hedge trimmer and I've got a smaller one. It's just the regular size. The blade is about that long, and had that. And I was scared of falling over something. I'm always scared of falling in that garden. And anyway, I was scared of falling backwards, so I was being a bit ginger, and I'd finished using the hedge trimmer, but I hadn't switched it off. Finished using it, and I went to. So I had stupidly. This is where the stupidity comes in. I was holding, because I was going to put it down on the ground. I was holding the hedge trimmer by the blade. And by the blade and by the back of the hedge trimmer. And thank God I had gloves on. Otherwise, I think the ends of my fingers would be off. And I was holding it by the blade, and I went to set it down on the ground, and it started up, and I was holding it. So that's the tale. I couldn't. So I had these gloves on, and I knew that I'd done something, significant, but I didn't know, because the pain, can you imagine touching the blade of a hedge trimmer, holding it with your hand? I'll use my other hand because this one's, sore. Holding it like that by the blade and that at the back. Can you imagine? And it's going off. The pain was excruciating. But anyway, so my husband was in the house, I was up in the garden. And I have a tendency to faint, things like that. I've done it before in the past. When I've had an injury, I go all wobbly. Hang on. So I do have I'm a bit of a fainter. So I didn't want to faint up in the garden, obviously. I might smash my head in. So all the way down from the garden to the house, I was holding it like this and going, "You've just bruised it. It's just bruised. It's bruised. It's bruised." All the way down to put it in my head that it wasn't serious. Anyway, got in the house. Husband was in the kitchen making coffee, and he took one look and he said, "What have you done?" And I said, I can't tell you. I couldn't seem to, I didn't want to say, I was holding the hedge trimmer and it went off, because I didn't want to faint, and that could have set me off faint. Oh God. Oh. Anyway, I'm extremely lucky that I had gloves on, and they were like a rubberized glove, My husband reckons if they'd have been my cloth, you know, the garden gloves that are cloth, if they'd have been that, it'd gone straight through it and possibly taken the tips of my fingers off. You know, it was so bad. But anyway, there we are. So I don't want sympathy because I'm stupid. I'm an idiot, so I don't need sympathy. What I need is for when you're pottering about in the house, getting up on ladders to get something out of a cupboard, or, you know, in the garden, especially in the garden, especially if you haven't got a flat garden like we haven't. It's all a series of, you know, it's like steps, loads of steps everywhere, and you know, what have you. So there you are. So I thought so let's get on to something nicer now. I'll do a little bit of stuff around the garden and we'll just forget about that, shall we? Right. We've got sunshine, full on sunshine. It is absolutely gorgeous. We're supposed to have it for a few days now. So we finished the handrails yesterday. Let's see if we've got a pussycat there. Yeah, we finished the handrails. So I'm just going to paint them. I'm just going to put the wood stain, you know, the wood preserver. So that's my job today. And they've turned out really well. So pleased with that. Hopefully it'll be a lot safer for us now going up and down the steps. So I'll see you next time. Meanwhile, lots of love from the land of mist and legend. Bye for now.